Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting back into? We're getting back into the ultimatum South Africa. We are now on episode 9 and it is ultimatum day. It's where the choices I'll be choicing. So let's get into this video. But before we get there, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know I'm on and doing videos. Please comment, like, share and do all those good things that you like to do, because you know what I'm on to? I'm on the road to 1k. Yes. Yes, I am, my dearies. I am on the road to 1k. And you're not going to help me get there. Anyway, let's get into this video. So we all know it's decision day and everybody is worried about whether those that are going to be asking will accept the proposal. So we know there's only 5 couples left because Nala and Lebo had a quick exit because of the situation that happened between Nala and Ruth and the disrespect there. But we'll chat some more when we get to the reunion, because there were things to talk about from there. There were. So Caesar actually said, basically, if she says yes to Lindelli, then the door to Kay will be closed. And I'm just like, my girl, now it's time to think of yourself and only yourself and what it is that you are going to do. Who cares about Kay? Because at the end of the day, Kay is staying his ass over them sides in Toxic City with Kenya. That's where Kay is putting his hat and his lot into at the end of the day. She needs to get Kay and that situation out of her head and make the decision for herself. So all I'm thinking is when these girls, or when they're all saying that, you know, they're like either 50% sure or they're 90% sure but the 20% not sure. If you're not 100% sure about the person you are deciding that may propose to you and you're going to answer yes to, then what the fuck are you answering yes for? You need to be 100% sure that you are going to be all in for this person before you say yes to their proposal. Boy. Anyway, so Kay, you see Kay talking about both marriages that he had, to Caesar and to Kenya. He's saying that it actually wasn't easy with Caesar. And I'm just like, but hold on a minute, my guy. You said it was easy with Caesar, like everything just flowed with her. She made you happy. She made you this. Everything that Kenya was not doing, Caesar did for you. So for him saying it wasn't easy, unless he's talking about his emotions in all of this, but we already know where he laid his cap, which feather he put his cap into. It was into Kenya. It weren't going to be Caesar. We knew this from when he was talking his good game with Kenya, because Kay just likes to be in the medley of all that toxicness. He just likes it. He does. There's some people out there that may complain, blow guff all the time about the person that they're with, but actually secretly they love it. They love the rubbish that goes on. They love the drama that goes on with them. It does flip to Kenya, and I'm gonna say Kenya looked tired, like really tired by the time this segment rolled around. She was basically talking about how she gave Kay the ultimatum and she felt that they were ready for the next step because Kay kept talking about getting married and all that and yada yada yada. And I'm kind of like, yeah, Kay was chatting about marriage probably in a general sense, but he ain't ready to marry you. That's how I saw that. But you know, Kenya likes to flip the script, and everything that's being said to her comes out different in her mind. So even if Kay was being cautious in regards to what he was talking about in relation to marriage, she will take that as, he wants to marry me. He's at the point where he wants to get married, so I'm going to give you this ultimatum. I'm going to put this bit of pressure on you because basically you're chatting about it, we're talking about it, so do it already. Kay is not going to do it. He isn't. He really isn't. Judging by how they were on screen is how they're going to be off screen, and probably even 10 times worse than what we saw. They have no business getting married in the slightest. They need to work on themselves. So Kenya, at the end of the day, within that experiment, she really didn't want anybody but Kay. Let's just put that out there. Call it a buck. Yeah, she didn't want anybody but Kay, but she gave Isaac a chance because she felt that Isaac was the more interesting of the bunch and all the other lads were boring. She didn't really want Isaac. She was just holding out for Kay. That's all she was gonna do, and that's probably why she was so set off when she saw Kay and Caesar acting in the way that they do, because her and Kay don't act like that. Her and Kay are not that way together. So it doesn't surprise me that she went the way she did with Caesar at the end of the day. It all comes to a head, and Kay is basically saying that he's there now to answer Kanya's ultimatum. He's basically saying that she's the woman he wants and sees children and a future with her. So he's then picks out the ring, and as he's about to chat, she gets all and I'm like, she's about to interrupt this dude. Like, she ain't gonna let him finish his speech. So the first thing I noticed about Kay's speech is the words promise, right? Because the first thing that he said is he made a promise but didn't ask to marry her, and basically was talking about how they have a lot of work to do. So he wants to promise that one day he wants to stand at the altar and for her to be his wife. So at first, Kanye didn't hear those words. She didn't hear the fact that he was using the word promise quite a bit. She didn't hear that at all. So Kanye was all excited when she saw that ring and was like, come on, ask me. Are you going to ask me or not? So he goes quiet and then turns around and says, this is a promise, but a promise that I will give you an engagement ring. I was like, well, ain't that about a bitch? Even Kanye was taken aback like that, as if to say, what the fuck? Hold on. She had to literally dial her full-on excitement back, as if to say, hold on, this fucking man just stood in front of me with a ring, but made a promise to me, but won't ask me to marry him. What the fuck is this? As the saying goes, if 2 plus 2 is 4 and 5 plus 5 is 10, what the fuck is this? That was embarrassment city for this girl. But I will say, I understood why Kai did what he did, and even though he was trying to explain it to Kanya, to let her know it's not a case of me saying I want to be done with you, but there's so much work and building blocks that we need to do first before we even head down the altar. We need to be in a good space first as a couple before we even get to the marriage part. Kanya was not feeling that. She was not feeling it at all. She did not take that man's ring. She take her foot and walk. Kai was trying to reason with her, but that girl weren't listening to nothing. She didn't get what she wanted. Kanye didn't get what she wanted. So she threw her dummy out of the pram and did exactly what the title said, marry or move on. So she decided that she was going to move on. But as I know it, she couldn't move very far. Let's just put it that way, and we'll talk about that more when it comes to the reunion. We get to Lindelli and Caesar. And I just keep on thinking, at this point, I just kept on thinking to myself, does Lindelli really want Caesar, or does he really want Tabby at the end of the day? Because this man is so indifferent to everything that goes on around him that he actually looks bored. Like, seriously actually looks bored. So he's there thinking about the door may be open for Kay in regards to Caesar. But I don't think Caesar really wants Kay. I think that is just a mix-up in her head because of how well that they got on, and Kay was doing things that Lindelli was not doing in that sense. But in regards to Kay and Caesar, I would say for Caesar, she shouldn't be someone's second option, because at the end of the day, Kay is literally going to keep picking Kanya over Caesar consistently. Like, he's already done that, and he's already shown that. Kanya didn't accept his promise, but hey ho, there we go. So Caesar is basically saying that she is Confusion City, and this is what I'm saying. If you are not 100% sure or 100% in terms of the person that you want to be with, in terms of the person that's going to get down on one knee and ask you to marry them, you shouldn't be making that decision a yes. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, you can be excited in the moment and be like, oh my God, oh my God. But if you're not 100% at that point, after all the time that you spent with that man already, knowing full well he's either going to ask you or he's not going to ask you, and if he's going to ask you, what the fuck are you saying? Are you going to say yes, or are you going to say, well, do you know what, I'm not 100% sure, so I don't think I should say yes to your proposal? Or you say yes and then it's just some long-winded motherfucking engagement, do you know what I mean? Because another excuse will roll in as to why you ain't walked down that aisle with that person. But hey ho, this is where we're at this moment in time. They get there, they meet up. Lindelli is completely taken aback by how Scissor looks, because she was gorgeous. Scissor was gorgeous, like absolutely gorgeous. Oh, she's beautiful black queen. Scissor was a beautiful black queen in her dress. She looked beautiful. So when he started with the "you know I love you," right, I was waiting for the but. The same way Caesar said she was waiting for the but, I was waiting for the but too. But Lindelli carried on, because the way his speech sounded was like he was not going to ask this girl shit. It was kind of like he was building her up for some kind of disappointment. And I'm like, if this is how you like write your freaking vows or whatever it is you want to freaking call it before you ask these people to marry you, my God, it's a wonder that they say yes at the end of that, because I would be confused as if to say, are you telling me you don't want me, or are you telling me that you do? So he does ask her, and I was like, what say you, Caesar? So she went into her little chat, and then Caesar confirmed that it was a yes. And I was like, okay. She chose herself. She chose what she wanted to do. So her and Lindelli are now engaged. We know Kay and Kanya are not engaged at all. Not even promised to each other at this point. So we get to Aidan and Courtney. There isn't too much to say about those two. Courtney is all nervous and everything, but she had no need to be nervous, because if she didn't know, but we all knew that Aidan had brought that ring, and he was like, he asked the parents, so he was serious. Aidan was ready to ask this girl to marry him. So Courtney's standing there and she's looking him up and down, and she's saying she can't see anywhere in his suit that she can see a ring box. Aidan was savvy. Aidan was clever. He put it where she would not be able to see the imprint of no ring box at the end of the day. So he did get down on one knee and he did ask her. And my girl took the longest. She paused for the motherfucking longest, and then goes into a speech. And poor Aidan stared with the box like, are you fucking saying yes or not, my gal? Because right now I'm down here still on bended knee holding this rotted ring in my hand, and you've just paused for the longest, and now you're talking a whole speech. Which one is it going to be? Am I going to be happy, or am I going to be disappointed? He was not disappointed. He was very happy because she did say yes. And then Courtney had something for Aidan. I don't know how she managed to keep that in her boot for so long, but having a ring in your boot would irritate the frick out of me. But she pulled a ring out for Aidan out of her boot too. And basically, it was promises that she wanted to make to him. So in essence, she brought him a promise ring, but at least Aidan accepted that promise from her. Ay, 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 ay. So then we go on to Ruth and Isaac. Now, this is another couple who shouldn't get married at all. Now, Isaac has not been a good partner to Ruth in the slightest. No matter what this man say, he not being a good partner to her at all. I really don't think that he wanted Ruth, and that's why he hid her for 2 years, because he was not ready to bring her to the forefront. And because of this show, he was pressurized into bringing her to the forefront. He had no choice but to do that. He wanted to do it on his own God-given time, but that was not going to happen for him. Just thinking, so will Ruth overlook everything if he does ask and say yes? Because I really, well and truly don't think these two should get married at all. So Isaac speaks about their relationship, and basically he's talking about what they need to do. He wants everything to work out for them. Now, after he's done all of this bloody speech, this man, tell me why this man gets out the ring, opens it up, yeah, says he loves her, and then closes the box and says, deep down, I know you deserve better than me. This is how I knew at this point, even though this man is saying his piece and saying all the blurb of you deserve better than me, I don't think it will work out for us, all that guff, yeah. He waited until this moment because he was going to have the last laugh. After all the whole situation that went on, this is the only reason why Isaac decided to stay on this show. Just so he could literally bait her with the ring to then take it back and say, no, we are not good enough for each other. They are not good enough for each other. Let me just put that out there, as you already know. They are not good enough for each other. But I thought the way that he did that shit was bollocks. Absolutely bollocks. Because he could have given it a heads up at the end of the day, but he weren't going to. So you could tell that Ruth was hurt by that. She really was. But she's save face because she had no choice but to accept what he was saying. So she basically ended the relationship for both of them there. But I was like, well, Isaac already done that. He did that before you could, because that was his plan all along, to end the relationship with you publicly, embarrass you the way that you embarrassed him, and that's how I'm seeing it. That is how I'm seeing it. You can let me know what you thought, but that is how I'm seeing it. Basically, Ruth said it's not working for her anymore, and that was it. They were done, and they went their separate ways. Always knew Isaac did not respect Ruth. He didn't want her. He didn't, because if he was a man that really wanted this woman, he would not have hidden her for 2 years from his family. Yes, I understand if in their culture, if you take the woman back, then especially to meet the mother, she's going to expect, well, the engagement's going to come, you're going to get married, this, that and the other. But what it seems like is that there has to be a lot of conversations between the family before that even happens anyway. So he well could have taken her back to meet his family if he really wanted to. He could have even let them know that he was dating someone but not really ready at the marriage stage, and let them know who it was. But he didn't want Ruth. He really didn't. So at the end of that, Ruth had her closure. So then we get to Tabby and Genesis. And I'm just kind of like, Tabby no longer has the option of Lindelli because he did ask Caesar to marry him. So it's either for Tabby a yes or no in terms of Genesis, or you're just going to freaking leave at the end of the day. So Genesis was going to ask Tabby regardless, because he'd already had the ring. He was already invested with her. He was emotionally invested with her. So when it comes to it, the ball will be in Tabby's court at the end of the day. So Genesis pulled out a heart-shaped note and asked Tabby to read it out loud. Then he got down on one knee and asked Tabby. So Tabby, instead of saying yes straight away like you normally would do if you was going to do that, she decided to question him back and say, are you sure? Is this something you really want to do? And I'm like, are you trying to get this man to change his mind or what? Because if he was not sure, I doubt he would have got down on one knee for you. I'm sure he would have done an Isaac, or probably not an Isaac. Probably would have said to you, I don't think this is going to work between us, and gave you the talk. Because the one thing I can say for Genesis is this man knows how to articulate him damn self. Let's just put it that way. He knows how to talk. He knows how to chat. He knows the words in which to use to make people understand what it is that he is saying. So if he didn't really want to marry Tabby, he wouldn't have played them games with her in the slightest. So as I said, for her asking those questions is kind of stupid. So in the end, when Genesis does confirm exactly what he wants to do, she says yes. So he then pulls out a letter that he's wrote from his family to her family that she cannot open because it's the right thing to do. So basically she needs to deliver that letter to her family for them to read. It's not for her to read, especially when it comes to asking for her hand in marriage and wanting to get married, because what we have to remember is this is in South Africa, so that each and every one of them have their own culture and the way in which they navigate the whole marriage scene, and what expectations they have to fulfill when it comes to each other's families. So all I can say is that's that. Lindelli and Caesar, Tabby and Genesis, Courtney and Aidan engaged, and the no's were Kay and Kanya, and Ruth and Isaac completely done and dusted. So Kay was basically at the end of that talking about how he accepted losing Kanya, and Kanya is basically talking about how she's saying a guy is supposed to willingly marry you. And I thought, but my love, you asked him for an ultimatum. That's not actually giving the man the choice to actually put out there that he wants to marry you. That's you putting him in a pressurized situation to say, you're either going to ask me to marry you or you're going to fuck off, basically. That's exactly what you did. So there was no willingness about it. He was brought into a situation of your creation. Anyway, that's where the episode ended, and I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode because it's the very last episode of the season and it is the reunion. As I always ask, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so when you know I'm on and doing videos, and please comment, like, share and do all the good things that you do, because you know what, I am on the road to 1k. Yes, I am. And I will speak to you good people all very soon. Peace out.